One of these men is the inventor of radar. What is your name, please?
My name's Sir Robert Watson Yacht.
What is your name, please?
My name is Sir Robert Watson Watt.
What is your name, please?
My name is Sir Robert Watson Watt.
Two of these people are imposters. Only one is the real Sir Robert Watson Watt, and is the only one sworn to tell the truth. Now, here is our host, Bud Collier.
Thank you very much. Good evening and welcome once again to Tell the Truth, brought to you this week by Arid Cream Deodorant, America's largest selling deodorant. Don't be half safe, be completely safe. Use Arid Cream Deodorant to be sure. Now may I introduce our panel. First, Miss Polly Bergen. Next, Mr. Don Amici. Then Miss Kitty Carlisle. And finally, Mr. Tom Poston. Panel, will you please follow along with your copies of this first affidavit as I read it? I, Sir Robert Watson Watt, am a scientist who has served Britain through 2 world wars. During the First World War, I developed a method of locating distant electrical storms by radio waves. During World War II, I was knighted by King George VI for my work in radio detection of aircraft, which did much to save the United Kingdom during the Battle of Britain. I am the inventor and developer of what is known as radar. Signed, Robert Watson Watt. There are 3 gentlemen here, panel, who, as you heard, each one claimed to be Sir Robert Watson Watt, inventor of radar. Gentlemen, are you all ready to play our game? Very well, then let's begin this first round of questioning with Tom Poston. Tom?
Thank you, Bud. Mr. Watt, number 1.
Sir Robert.
I'm sorry, Sir Robert. See, when you sit with class, you get all that kind of treatment. Sir Robert, could you tell us what an early danger connected with high-frequency stuff and radar and so forth, at least that high-frequency stuff was suspected of being the cause of an early danger medically? Is that clear?
No, I'm sorry, it's not at all clear, sir. Perhaps you can make yourself more so.
More clear, eh?
Yes, sir.
Well, at one time, it was thought, during the war at least, it was thought that high frequency was medically dangerous or physically dangerous. Do you remember what that was, what that had to do with?
No, I wasn't particularly impressed with the danger. I know it was said that it was dangerous, but I think most of us felt that it was merely a myth.
Number 2, do you know what I'm referring?
Newspaper-wise, I believe there were suggestions about dangers to vision.
Polly Bergen.
Number 3, before radar was invented, how did they know what was in front of them in submarines?
In submarines, before radar,
Yes.
well, they had periscope, and they could only see by visible eye.
Well, I mean...
You couldn't detect if there's no radar.
Were there submarines before there was radar?
Oh, yes. In World
they
War
just wandered-
in World War I, there were a great many submarines.
Well, I thought there was, but I mean,
Well, you had
you can't have a periscope underwater. How did they know whether they were
Well,
going to
you-
hit something?
Well, you put the periscope above water.
What if the rock's underwater? Well, I think the whole submarine service is very dangerous.
Well, it
Number
would be with submarines like you described that go like this.
Yeah. You know, I saw a movie last night, and I get very impressed by these things. Number 1, if you're near something, if something is in front of you or near you, and you're looking at a radar screen, what happens?
Well, as a matter of fact, what you actually see, of course, is a dial revolving on a circle, like a series of wheels, one within the other. And the little hand goes round and round and round, and every time it records an object in its view, it will show a little spark, as it were, where the object
This was an
occurs.
old picture, because they didn't have that kind. Number 2.
Don Amici, please.
Number 2, how far is radar effective?
I have read in American newspapers, which always tell the truth, that 3,000 miles is attainable nowadays.
Number 3, what is the difference between radar and sonar?
Radar and
Sonar.
I don't know.
Number 1,
The difference between radar and sonar is that radar represents the radio direction, detection, and ranging.
and sonar.
That is correct, sir.
Number 2, when did they put radar on planes first?
About end of 1937.
Number 1, what is the...
Kitty?
Number 1, can you tell me at what height radar works off the ground?
Yes, indeed. Do you mean at what height will it detect
Yes.
things? Well, it'll detect things from almost unlimited height. As you know, you can get radar messages even to the moon and back, and even further.
Thank you. Number 2, can you tell me at what height radar works off the ground? What is the limit?
It certainly locates ships at sea. As the
No, I
people-
mean,
That's it. Time to vote without any further information and without consultation.
turns
Will you
out I know
please
more than they do.
Mark your ballots, if you will, please, panel, and select thereby number 1, number 2, or number 3.
I don't have any
Team of
right
challengers will get $250 for every incorrect vote. Has everybody marked? All ballots voted? Okay, Polly, for whom did you vote?
Well, number 1 was terribly prolific, excepting that he mispronounced his name at the beginning, which makes it rather difficult. So I didn't vote for him. I voted for number 3, though number 2 knew most of the answers, but number 3 didn't say anything. But, well, it wasn't his fault. We didn't ask him anything. So I'm voting for him.
Okay, Polly. Don, your vote, please.
I voted for number 1 because it was kind of kind to me last week, so I thought I'd try it again.
Say with a winner.
He said
Kitty?
his name was
I
Young.
voted number 2 because number 3 said he didn't know what sonar was.
Oh, I forgot that.
And number 2 was...
I did. Can I change my vote?
I'm sorry, Polly.
But I forgot it.
Oh, Polly.
But we have a special rule.
Number
We'll
2
give
is
you
a
A
great
for effort.
diplomat because he said that our American newspapers are always correct.
That's why I didn't vote for him.
Well, that was my vote.
All right, Tom, what about yours?
I'm afraid to say anything. One of me or Polly's going to end up being dumb about that. I voted for number 2 because of the sonar business.
Yeah.
You know, they had that long before radar.
I know.
That's easy.
Yeah.
And number 1 knew too much. Remember that, number 1.
Everything but his name.
All right, there you have it. Now let's see how we worked out with the panel and their reasoning as to whether they discovered which of these 3 gentlemen is the inventor of radar. So, may I ask the real Sir Robert Watson Watt to please stand up. Thank you, sir, very much. Number 1, would you tell us your real name and what you really do, please?
My name is Oliver K. Whiting, and I am the sponsor for the Dale Carnegie courses in the British Isles and a present instructor in New York.
Thank you. And number 3, may I have your real name and what you do?
My name is Alec Breckenridge, and I am chairman of the New York Committee for the big British exhibition, which will be held in New York in June 1960.
Good plug. Now we check our score. We find there were 2 incorrect votes at $250 each for a total of $500 from Arid. Gentlemen, on your way out, you'll find a year's supply of Rise Instant Lather for each of you. Hope you had fun on your visit. We did. Good night and good luck to you. Now, panel, let's meet our next team of challengers.
What is your name, please?
My name is Lenore Jensen.
What is your name, please?
My name is Lenore Jensen.
What is your name, please?
My name is Lenore Jensen.
Again, panel, will you follow along with your copies of this affidavit? I, Lenore Jensen, was recently elected 1959 homecoming queen of Central Michigan University, where I am a sophomore, majoring in commercial art. My main interest, aside from my schoolwork, however, is in marksmanship. My mother taught me how to handle a rifle when I was 15. At present, I am the National Women's Small Bore Champion. I also hold the National Collegiate Small Bore Championship for both women and men. Signed, Lenore Jensen. Three young college misses this time, panel, each one claiming to be Lenore Jensen, National Small Bore Rifle Champion. Comfortable and ready to play? All right, let's start this round with Polly Bergen. Polly?
Number one, what's a small bore? Well, I don't know. I can't ask the question until I find out what a small bore is.
Tell you what a big bore is, but...
Bud? Yes, sir. I mean, ma'am.
It's the size of a rifle, or the
Well, I mean, would a shotgun be a small bore?
No.
No, it wouldn't
No.
be. Would be like a 22 would be a small
22,
bore?
that's right.
So a BB gun would be a small bore? No? Well, all right. Anyway, I know a little about Michigan. Number two, what is Battle Creek famous for?
cereals, I guess. Kellogg's, isn't it?
Number three, what's the capital of Michigan?
Lansing.
Lansing. I always thought it was Flint. Yeah, I guess it's Lansing. Number one, if you're out shooting rabbit and you take the rabbit home and you eat it, what is the only problem in eating it, generally, after hunting it and shooting it?
I don't like rabbit.
With a large bore.
Skin it first.
If you liked rabbit, what would be the...
Donamici, please.
Number one, what studies are you taking?
I'm studying commercial art.
What is your course?
Commercial
what courses?
art. Oh, I've got a course in abstract drawing, sketching. I've only taken around 3 so far.
Number two, what courses are you taking?
Well, besides my art courses, you mean?
What courses are you taking in school?
Well, English, German, art, of course.
Number three?
What courses am I taking?
Yes.
Sociology, English, commercial art, and psychology.
Number one, who did you play on homecoming?
Northwestern,
Number two?
Northern Illinois.
Number three, who did you play?
Northern Illinois.
Kitty?
Number 3, I want to know what a small bore is, too. And I don't mean any of you 3.
It puts a small hole in the target. In other words, 22-millimeter hole.
I see. Number 2, can you tell me a kind of a rifle that'll make enough of a kick to give you a bruised shoulder?
Well, that would be the big bore.
Any other questions, Polly?
Yes, she knows about big bores. Ask her about the rabbit if she likes
All
it.
right. If you like rabbit and you brought it home, what would be the only problem in eating the rabbit?
If you went out and shot it with the big bore.
Wait a minute. Who's questioning?
Well, I mean, but
This is conference time, yes.
Tom Poston.
Oh, no.
Thank you. But there's no problem at all, Polly. That's a shotgun you're talking about.
I know that, but I wanted to see if they did.
Okay, well, anyway, you know I'm the right one now.
Yes. I vote for...
Number 2, Lenore Jensen, number 2. What are the bullet sizes in a 22? Can you tell
What
me?
do you mean, sizes?
You don't think there's more than one size?
Well, they're short and long.
Anything else? Number 3, is there anything else in the 22? Another size?
Just short and long.
Number 1, please.
Short and long.
Uh-huh. Well, one of you is crazy, because what about long rifle? Any of you hear that? Long rifle? No? Okay.
That's it. Once again, it's time to vote.
Right.
Without consultation, big or small bores, please mark your ballots.
I like rabbit.
And in so doing, vote for number 1, number 2, or number 3. All set? Toss your ballot up in the air and shoot at it with a small bore. Go ahead, Polly. Who's it going to be?
Oh, well, I don't know.
So you'll vote for
So I'll vote for number 3.
number 3.
It's 2 or 3, and so I'm just taking the chance that it's 3, but I really think down deep inside that it's 2. Excepting that there was something that she didn't remember, but I don't remember either what it was.
All right. right, Don Amici, please.
I voted for number 2. I don't know what she's doing taking German over there in that college, but I guess it's all right. But I have to vote for number 2 anyway.
Kitty?
I voted for number 3 because she gave me a much more technical answer on what a small bore was, and she reeled off those courses that you were talking about a whole lot quicker, and I think she looks like Annie Oakley.
Oh. All right, Tom, what about your selection?
I don't know, I just had some fun here. This is the beginning of a whole new panel show. It's called a whole new Western. It's called The Panelist. That's who I voted for, number 2. And don't ask me why, Bud, because
She was within range. All right, there it is. The votes are in. The minds are made up. Let's find out right now which one of these pretty young misses is the real small bore rifle champion. So will the real Lenore Jensen please stand up? Thank you very much, Lenore. Number 1, would you tell us your real name and what you do, please?
My name is Patricia Webster, and I work for Braniff Airways.
Thank you. And number 3, what about you?
My name is Diana Hoxie, and I sell poetry books at the Scribner Bookstore here in New York.
Thank you. Well, it was a joy having you here. We check our score and find that there were 2 incorrect votes at $250 each for a total of $500 from Arid. When you weigh out, you'll find a gift box of all of Carter's fine products waiting for you. Good night. Good luck to you.
Thank you very much.
Bless you. We'll have another interesting set of challenges for our panelists to meet in just a moment. Before we meet our next challengers, Tom, I'm sorry, I didn't see your hand up before. I guess you wanted to ask a question about the long rifle. Was that it?
she may possibly not have known. I don't know whether it's marksmanship size or not. I just know it exists.
Yes.
Or I thought it did.
The long rifle. Well, I don't know. We'll check and find out, trying to get a news flash for you at the end of the show. Sorry, I didn't see your hand. Please forgive me, Tom. Now let's meet our third team of challengers.
What is your name, please?
My name is Harry DeLear.
What is your name, please?
My name is Harry DeLear.
What is your name, please?
My name is Harry DeLear.
Again, panel, follow along, if you will, on this affidavit. I, Harry DeLear, born and raised in Europe, am now operating my own riding school and stables in this country. In February of 1956, I arrived at a horse auction after all the horses had already been sold. 15 beat-up workhorses that had already been bought for dog food were being loaded into a butcher's van. One big white gelding caught my eye. I bought him for $70 and named him Snowman. 5 days ago at the horse show in Madison Square Garden before some 15,000 enthusiasts, this same $70 horse was awarded for the second year in a row the Professional Horsemen's Association Championship. I had been offered as much as $100,000 for him. Today, aging and unpedigreed, Snowman is rated by many as the greatest jumper in the country. Signed, Harry DeLear. You heard 3 gentlemen this time claiming to be Harry DeLear, purchaser and owner of the champion jumping horse for a mere $70. And we start this round of questioning with Kitty Carlisle. Kitty?
Thank you, Bud. Number 1, where was the auction held where you saw this horse?
The auction was held outside Harrisburg, Pennsylvania.
Number 2, what caught your eye with Snowman and decided to make you buy him?
Well, the horse was, it looked to me, it was a little bit better than the other 12 who were there.
Any particular thing? Number 3, can you tell me the particular things that caught your eye?
Well, particular thing caught me eye was his little ears.
And his eye?
His eye, too, but was gentle.
Number 1, can you tell me to which doctor you sold the horse where he ran away so many times?
Yes, it was a Dr. Farrell.
Dr. what?
Farrell.
Number 2, what was the doctor's name?
Dr. Farrell.
And how many times did the horse run away?
Well, the horse ran him away about 3 times until the police told me to stop it.
Tom Poston.
Thank you. Number 1, don't tell me, just tell me, do you know what a crupper is? Don't tell me what it is. Do you know what it is?
crupper.
Just say if you know
No.
what it is.
Number 2, do you know what a crupper is?
No.
Number 3?
Yes, sir.
Number 3, at what age is a horse gelded? Ideally.
Number 3, it could be devil, it could be...
Ideally. I know it could be.
It could be a yearling.
Thank you. And how many times did you sell Snowman? Number 2, please. How many times did you sell Snowman?
I sold him once.
And number 1, what position did Snowman finish in the jumping at Madison Square Garden this year?
He finished first.
Polly?
Number 3, how did you first find out that Snowman was such a great jumper?
Well, they bought him as in for a kid's horse, and then in a school, and eventually he developed into a terrific jumper.
Number 1, what made you suddenly realize that this old workhorse was a great jumper?
Well, the most important thing that I noticed about is that every time he jumps the fence and come back home, and my wife said he has potential, and then I trained him for a little pole and another pole and another hurdle, and it took 2 years to train him to be a good jumper.
Number 2, what is Snowman doing now? Is he competing in shows constantly, or is
Yes,
he
that's
sort
right.
of a...
Well, I keep him away for a while now. Probably we'll stop.
How old is Snowman now?
Don?
10 years.
Number 1, what's the difference between an Australian and a Western saddle?
The Australian, the English saddle, the...
Australian. Number 2?
I don't know.
I have only 2 English.
Number 3?
There is a western saddle, you said there's a horn in front of it.
Number 2, how many gates are there to a standard bred?
How many games stand up?
Number 1.
I don't know.
Number 3?
Trap. 2.
I beg your pardon?
2.
2 gates to a standard bred? Number 1, how many inches are in a hand?
4.
Number 2, what is the average height of a horse?
About 16.
That's it. Once again, ready to vote, if you will, please, and mark your ballots as quickly as possible. Voting for number 1, number 2, or number 3. Everybody set? Ballots all marked? Okay, Polly, for whom did you vote?
I voted for number 3. Because I tried him all night, and he hasn't come through for me, and I figured with a horse, maybe I could come through with
You
him.
could ride through to victory. Don, your vote.
Well, I voted for number 3, but I think there are more than 3 gates to a regular standard bred, aren't there?
All right, Kitty?
I voted for number 3 because I read the story, and in the story it said that the gentleman who bought him was attracted by his ears and his intelligent eye. And number 3 told me about his ears, and also he knew what a crupper was.
And Tom?
I voted for number 3. Crupper is just a piece of harness, that's all, and if they would recognize that, I knew that he would probably know something about horses and so forth.
All right, that makes it unanimous then for number 3. Let's see whether or not that unanimity proves to be of a good or bad omen as we find out which one of these gentlemen is the real owner of the champion jumping horse. So will the real Harry DeLayer please stand up? Thank you, sir, very much, and congratulations. Number 1, would you tell us your real name and what you do, please?
My name is Roger Beaumont, and I work as a waiter in the Sulgrave Hotel in New York City.
Thank you, sir. And number 2, may I have your real name and what you do?
My name is Walter Eckert, and I'm reservation supervisor for Swiss Air in New York.
Thank you, sir. Just for my own amusement, number 1, did you ever ride a horse?
Yes, I did.
You ride well?
Not very well.
What about you, number 2?
In a circus.
In the circus, really? How'd you
Well,
ever...
I mean, in a county fair, I would say. County fair.
In Switzerland?
Switzerland, yeah.
That's so. Well, I think you admit that the panel did rather well here tonight. All 3 or 4 of you really zoned in on this one. Did you have a question, Polly? Just
No,
waiting
but
to
I
laugh.
have
Yeah. What?
Are there not more than 2 gates to a regular standard bred?
There are more gates. Every horse got 3 gates, walk, trot, and canter, but there are no trained to do it. There's a pacer and a trap.
Yeah.
That's the only one for a trap.
Yeah, I see.
But naturally, they only have
You
one.
don't ever consider the walk.
The other ones we don't consider enough for the trap.
When he said 2, he was mentioning trot and canter. So
I mean, altogether,
yes,
there are a lot of standard breds that they say have 5
We
gates.
want to say that we read the story in Life magazine.
Yes, indeed.
You know
we all
about
did.
you know that did Snowman finish second?
But reserve champion.
Reserve champion.
Champion from Madison Square
Well,
Garden.
that's all the time we have. I'm sorry. I
I'm
wish
gonna
we
go
had
out
more
and say
time to
also
discuss it, but I'm afraid we don't. And so if you don't mind, we'll have to check on the score here and find that there were no incorrect votes, but $150 from our gentleman, as well as the gift package of Rise Instant Lather, which you'll find outside. Good night, sirs, and continued good luck with Snowman. God bless.
Thank you.
Now, that's all the time we have for tonight, except Polly won't be with us next week. She'll be out in California. You can hear her singing on the telephone hour. We'll all be listening on our telephones as well as watching on our television set. Good night, panel.
Good night, Bud.
Bud Collier saying good night from Arid Cream Deodorant and reminding you to tell the truth. Good night, everybody.
To Tell the Truth is the Mark Goodman, Bill Codman production in association with the CBS television network. Miss Bergen's Doll by Wilmot. To Tell the Truth has been brought to you by the makers of Nair, the fast, easy, feminine way to remove hair from legs, face, and arms. Nair, lotion or cream. Now, this is Vern Bennett saying good night from Arid Cream Deodorant.